This is a very weird school. All the females here are cute beast girls, but the males keep their wild animal forms. Jin is one of few normal humans who doesn't like animals at all, and even in the cafeteria there is no food for humans. So Jack asks the gorilla chef to grill some meat for him. When he sits down to eat, he suddenly feels a pair of wolf eyes staring at him. Ronka thinks he is trying to take her food, so she immediately takes a defensive stance. To show that he means no harm, Jack hands the meat to her. That small act changes everything. Jenny instantly starts to like him and even announces that Jack will join her pack. But Jack has hated animals since childhood, so he throws the meat away to distract her. And it all began at the Seton Academy entrance ceremony, a place filled with humanoid animals. And among them is Jin, a human who is hit by a pineapple, which he throws back and hits a wolf girl Ranka, knocking her to the ground. She gets angry and jumps towards him, but he dodges and she hits a fish bowl. Just then, dinosaur teacher Tyranno orders the students to line up or he'll eat them, so they follow him. Tyranno asks the headmaster Amano to speak, but his fishbowl cracks from Ronka's earlier hit and he struggles without water and strikes Ronka, asking for water, but she starts running, grabbing him in her mouth, and everyone watches them while Jin holds his head. Seton Academy is a school for animals where all the animals study to create a better future for themselves. The bell rings and the students are excited, while Jin tries to read a book but can't focus because of the animals, so he walks out of the classroom. Jin is a first-year human student and hates all the animals. He goes to the cafeteria and sees only animal food on the menu, so he asks the monkey chef to cook meat. The chef asks why. Then he takes his food and decides to sit in the corner where he meets Ranka and gets terrified. She still remembers that he hit her, so she gets angry, but he looks away, which calms her down. She stares at him, so he offers her food which she likes and starts eating. As he is about to eat, she stands in front of him and invites him to join her pack, confusing him, and introduces herself as a pack leader, but he ignores her and eats his food. Then she tries to get his attention, so he shows her a bone and throws it, and she chases after it. Just then, a human girl appears, Hitomi, who asks if he's done eating, and he says he's starting and asks her to sit with him. She is happy to meet another human. She opens her lunch which she brought to avoid the school's food, and they laugh together. He wishes that all the animals would go away. Suddenly, Ronka returns and challenges her to fight for Jin. He says he's not her male and tells her to go away, but Hitomi panics and leaves, which makes him sad. Ranka says she wins for the pack, which makes him angry. But she says she's the boss, and he says he doesn't want to join her pack of dogs. She says she's a wolf, but he says they're both the same. He calls her lonely and tells her to leave, making her sad. Then he points out that all students usually form packs with their own species, and they can't be friends. She refuses this idea, saying a human once saved her when 3 bear cubs were bullying her, who put himself in danger to protect her. So she believes she can make friends with other species and wants to form a mixed pack, and then runs from there. At night, in his hostel room he realizes he is the boy who tried to save her, but the bears beat him up, causing his hatred of animals. He remembers her licking his wounds, and then he decides to mind his own business, but never expected to meet her again, and goes to sleep. The next day, during break time, he is angry at the animals. Just then, Hitomi arrives. Afterwards, she tells him about her plan to start a cooking club to show how fun cooking is, and he agrees to join, and she says it'll be fun, and they laugh. Suddenly, Ranka appears and says she has to fight her, but he doesn't want to join her pack and tells her to leave. She asks if they're in a pack, and he says yes, but panics, saying they're in a club together. Then she sadly leaves, and he says she'll be fine. Next, they are carrying the boxes of cooking supplies, and he notices Ronka being bullied by a zebra girl, Chloe. The animals make fun of her and call her pathetic. When she falls, Chloe warns her that she'll pay for damaging her things and is about to hit her. When Hitomi stops her and says she should carry her own things, but Ronka says it's fine, and she says it's not the way to make friends. Then Chloe tells her that Ronka asked to join her pack, so she lets her in as her servant and laughs. Ronka says it's her job as the newest pack member. Chloe agrees, although Ronka wanted to be friends with Jin, but he doesn't want the same and is happy for him. Chloe asks if she doesn't want to be in her pack and decides to hit her again, but this time, Jin stops her. Chloe says it doesn't concern him, as they're not in the same pack, but gets scared of him and fires her, saying she's not as noble as horses. He asks who made her the leader. 2 fangirls say she's a zebra, the most attractive horse with stripes, and she calls herself a noble mare. But he says zebras are more related to donkeys and explains that horses are friendly to humans, but zebras are short-tempered and communicate by barking. Chloe freaks out and says he wants to fool everyone with his lies and has no proof that she's related to ugly donkeys and demands proof. He asks if she's sure, and when she agrees he shows her short donkey-like tail. Her face turns red, seeing the donkeys blushing, and she runs away screaming. While Hitomi checks on Ranka and cleans her face, she looks at Jin and runs away, crying. Later, behind the building, she sits alone when Hitomi approaches her. Ranka says she doesn't want her sympathy. Hitomi asks if they can be friends, but screams seeing 3 bears who want to eat them. Jin hears her scream and runs to save her. Meanwhile, Ranka tries to fight the bears but they make fun of her. Hitomi worries she might get hurt, but she says she's a proud wolf and will protect her. The bears ask why she's saving someone who is not even in her pack, and call her weak for letting a zebra treat her like a servant, which makes her cry. Then a bear lifts Hitomi, saying she looks tasty, and laughs. Jin arrives and tells them to stop, and Ranka jumps on the bear holding Hitomi, giving her a chance to escape. When the bears try to scare him, he sprays bear repellent, causing them pain. He sees Ranka is also hurt, and she jumps on him. He tells her to go away, but then a bear attacks him, throwing him into a tree. He asks how they recover fast, and the bear says they washed their eyes and now they will make him suffer. He knows bears are the strongest predators. They are fast, tall, and can even survive being hit by a car. As a bear prepares to strike, a furious Ranka calls him, saying she's not afraid of him, and attacks him, but he strikes her down. Then he says too bad and again prepares to strike, but then Tyranno arrives and bites him, which scares them, and then he chases them away. Hitomi returns and is glad to see them safe. He thanks her and laughs while Ranka sadly walks away. He asks if she's still alone and thanks her for trying to save him, and asks if he can join her pack, which makes her happy, and she allows him. Then he wonders what made him want to join her pack, and she hugs him, giving him a welcome kiss, shocking him, which is a wolf tradition, where a new member is welcomed by licking their face, and a male-female pair for their entire lives. Hitomi gets embarrassed and tries to run, but she jumps on her, licks her too, and welcomes them both into her pack. Next, in the cooking room, Jin tells Ranka she must pass a cooking test to join the club. Ranka is ready. Suddenly, another girl arrives at the club and introduces herself as Komori Yukari, a koala, and she wants to join the club. She says she wants to learn cooking. Hitomi is happy to have more members, but Jin says koalas only eat eucalyptus. Yukari says yes. Her family eats eucalyptus for every meal and she likes it, but it isn't the only thing she wants to eat. Her mother says it is for their survival, but she wants to try other food. Hitomi says it is stressful, and Jin asks if she tried anything else and she says no. Anne says she wants to eat something she ate a long time ago but can't remember what it was, and when she asked her mother about it and refused to tell her. Then Jin agrees to let her take the test, and she starts chopping vegetables but the pieces fall down so she picks them and throws them into the pan. Then she starts heating the pan but gets scared of the fire, and she makes her special eucalyptus pasta, surprising everyone. Hitomi likes it. Jin says it tastes good and Ranka eats it like an animal, and she passes the test. Then, it's Ranka's turn, and Jin will be her helper as she doesn't know how to cook. Ranka doubts herself, but Jin says he'll guide her, and tells her to wash the vegetables, but she puts soap on them then brings the meat in her mouth. Yukari asks why Ranka wants to join the club and Hitomi says she is their pack leader. Yukari says they're friends and asks if she minds her taking Jin, which embarrasses her and she thought Hitomi and Jin were a couple, but Hitomi clarifies they're just friends which makes Jin cry. Then Yukari asks if Jin and Ranka are a couple which makes Jin angry so he tells Ranka to handle it, but she doesn't know what to do. So Jin says cooking is love and she can do it and she thanks him. Then she cuts the vegetables, adds spices, heats the food and serves it but ends up burning it. Then Jin tells Yukari to eat Ranka's dish for the second test and if she can't eat it, she will fail. Then Ranka offers Jin a spoon, saying she made it with love while Yukari hesitates to eat it, and Hitomi takes pictures. Yukari tastes it and says she likes it, saying this is the dish she was looking for and eats more. Then she realizes that when she was young she ate undigested eucalyptus from her mother's digestive system, which is part of a koala's diet to develop gut bacteria, and pandas do the same with bamboo. And Ranka makes Jin eat it and he doesn't like it. As Yukari enjoy the dish, Hitomi passes Ranka. Meanwhile, a cat girl watches them from the window. Then Hitomi tells the club members that since their budget is low, they need to ask the gardening club for some vegetables. And they agree, but suddenly, the cat girl joins them, and she introduces herself as Nekomai Kurumi. Jin asks why she's here, and Yukari tells her about the test, but Jin stops her. And Hitomi asks if she wants to join the club but she refuses. Then Jin tells her to leave. but she uses her hypnotic purr to manipulate the girls to join the club. However, Jin and Ranka aren't affected, and wonder what's going on. Next they go to the gardening club, but the boar refuses to give them vegetables as someone is stealing their crops, and asks if they did it, but Ranka says they didn't do it, and Jin tries to speak, but Kurumi uses her purr again. Just then 2 thieves appear and offer their stolen vegetables, and the boar scares them out, and Yukari and Hitomi thank her. Back in the cooking room, Hitomi and Yukari are impressed by her skills, while Ranka chews her hand in stress. Then she asks Jin if he's Ranka's boyfriend, and he says no, so she tries to kiss him, but he steps back. Then she suggests they should quit the cooking club and start a sleeping club, using her purr, but they all refuse as they love cooking. Jin tells her that her purr won't work every time and asks her to leave, so she says she was joking and leaves. Jin calms an angry Ranka while Kurumi calls them lame. Hitomi feels sad to hear that, and he tells her not to worry. Next, Ranka jumps on Jin, saying she found a new member, and takes him to meet Miyubi, who is sleeping in a classroom. Jin notices moss growing on her, but Ranka says it's her food and eats whenever she's hungry. Then Jin realizes she's a sloth, the slowest animal in the world, which eats leaves and moss growing on its body. Ranka asks if she can join, but he refuses. Just then their dinosaur teacher, Arimato, asks them to be her friends, but Jin says no, so he threatens them, and Jin agrees. Then they try to wake her, and she slowly stands up and begins to move, but she falls down due to pressure. Then Jin carries her on his back to her dorm room, which is filled with sports equipment. Jin puts her to bed, but Ranka stops him and asks him to help carry her to the club, but he says she is too slow for the cooking club, and they can't force her. But Ranka says she will do it herself, and starts undressing her to give her a bath, making Jin shy. Then she goes to bring soap and asks him to look after her. But when she overheats, he takes her out and gives her a cold shower. As Jin tries to leave, but she stops him and makes tea to thank him for letting her join the club, and says she has no friends and that Ranka told her about the club and how he helped her make friends. She says she's happy to be their friend and falls asleep. Then Ranka returns with Hitomi and Yukari, and asks if he bathed her, and he says only with water. Yukari says he couldn't control seeing her naked, but he denies it. Ranka asks if Miyubi can join the club. Jin agrees, and the girls welcome her and they laugh. Then he tells Kurumi to show herself, and she appears, saying she was just passing by and will leave now. But he asks if she wants to join the club. She refuses, but he says her tail says otherwise, making her embarrassed. Then the girls say she can join, and he says having a koala, a sloth, a wolf and a cat will make it fun. She then says she wanted to join from the start, but says she doesn't want friends and runs away. The next day, they arrive at school together and find boxes of vegetables in the cooking room from the gardening club, and they also notice Kurumi outside. Then they eat the curry rice together, and Miyubi gets tired again while Kurumi watches them with a smile. Later, the student council says the cooking club is disturbing the school's ecosystem and decides to shut it down. Student Council President Miki Hadano tells the students to avoid unnatural interspecies relationships, as making groups of different species violates natural law, and Jin realizes she's against them. Then in the student council room, Miki removes her clothes, revealing she is a naked mole rat girl with an army of male naked mole rats. They are antisocial beings, and like honeybees and termites, they have a queen in control. She hates wearing clothes because it feels humiliating to her kind, and the army says they never seen her in clothes. Then she asks if the spies have returned with information about the club. One of the male rats says yes, and shows her a movie trailer he made, a love story between 2 rats. Then he reports that the club was started by a human, Hitomi, and its members include Miyubi, a sloth, Yukari, a koala, who cooperated with them and allowed filming because she was tired of eating eucalyptus every day. Miki asks if that's all, and he says the club has a ghost member, Kurumi, a cat. She then asks about Jin and Ranka and who allowed them to join the club. He says they filmed them too, but hesitated to show the clip, so she orders them to play it. The clip shows Ranka licking Jin's face, and she gets embarrassed and says Jin is the evil source, causing this mess, and sends her army to spy on him closely. Next, in the cooking room, Hitomi teaches Jin how to cut vegetables, while the mole rats spy on them. But Ranka suddenly starts licking him, and he tells her to stop, but she licks Hitomi's face, who says it's fine and separates them. Suddenly, several lion girls arrive and grab Jin. Ranka tries to stop them, but she is taken too. Then they are thrown in front of King Shishino, the Lion King, who welcomes them. Jin asks why they were brought here, while Ranka calls him a bad guy and asks him to fight. Then the lion girls tell them to be quiet, but King tells them to free them and asks them to follow him. They are taken to the school ground, where he reveals he has fallen in love with an Impala girl Shiho, who is a good athlete. Jin asks why he's here and he says he wants to marry her and needs Jin's advice on interspecies relationships. Ronka wants him to help but he refuses and tries to leave, but the lion girls chase him and beat him up badly. Back in class, King asks for help, but he says the student council has banned interspecies relationships. But King says his feelings are real and he doesn't care what others think, and Jin asks how he fell for her. He says it happened a few days ago when he was waiting for the girls to bring his lunch and he saw Shiho and his heart started racing, and he fell in love. But Jin says it's just his hunger and Ronka asks if he told her how he feels. Then King says he tried sending the girls, but he tells him to do it himself and wonders how he has a harem. And he says it's his job to protect his harem, making Ronka impressed. But Jin asks the girls if they like him for his strength. The girls say yes, and also his mane is attractive, as a lion's long manes attract lionesses, and no one likes a short mane. Jin tells her to tell her how he really feels and leaves. Unfortunately, Shiho gets scared every time King approaches her and runs away. And Jin says a carnivore and herbivore can never be a couple. Then Ronka jumps on him again and starts licking him, while King returns sadly to his throne, and Jin tells him to give up. But he says that male lions are forced to leave their families at a young age and he really cares for her and starts crying, making everyone sad. Jin thinks that he's really serious and Ronka feels bad for him. Suddenly, another lion appears and challenges King, and the rival lion says he can't defeat him, and reveals he has taken Shiho hostage. King tells him to let her go, but he licks her instead. King calls him a coward and he says it's survival of the fittest, and if he wants her, he should give him his harem. But King says females are not objects. Ronka and Jin wonder what to do, and the lion calls in others to attack, and Ronka tells Jin to do something. When the rival threatens to eat Shiho, he gets angry, throws his opponents out. Then the lion tells him to think about her, but King is burning with anger, which scares him and he begs for forgiveness. But he cuts his own mane, says he gives up his harem and tells him to leave her. Then his harem leaves him and the lion says he deserves this for falling for her, and then he knocks him out too. He then apologizes to Shiho and says he only wanted to talk to her, but he will leave her, but she stops him and asks what he wants to say. He confesses his love, but she's not ready for romance, but is willing to be friends and he accepts. Ronka thinks it is good and Jin says he did it without their help and wonders about the relationships between animals. Then King and Shiho leave and the army of naked rats cries looking at them. And Miki concludes that Jin is encouraging unnatural relationships and needs to be stopped and orders her army to bring him in. But they say he refused to come with them and scared them away. So she decides to go herself and wear her clothes. But students surround her in the hallway, which makes her feel uncomfortable in her clothes around them. And she manages to leave only to run into Kurumi, and her army says they'll handle her so she can escape. And they're determined to protect their queen, but Kurumi catches them. Then Miki enters the cooking room and removes her clothes in front of Jin and Hitomi, and tells Jin to confess his crimes or face punishment, but he says he's not making a harem just then. King arrives to support him and Miki immediately disbands the cooking club, but Hitomi says she's taking this the wrong way. So Miki tells them to kick out all non-humans to prove their intentions. Just then Ronka enters after saving her army from Kurumi and asks her not to punish the club as it gives animals a chance to become friends and eat good food. Then Yukari arrives with Miyubi and greets them, and Ronka jumps on her and licks her. One of the rats says that they need to open their minds because these people are kind. So Miki decides to leave but will continue watching them closely. Ronka asks what happened, but Jin doesn't know. After King cuts his mane, his throne is empty, causing the school's male students to fight among themselves for it. Jin notes that herbivorous animals are peaceful while he's holding Ronka by a leash. Ronka says she's not his pet and wants to be treated as an equal, but he says over my dead body, and then she starts running around him in circles. Due to the violence in school, the cooking club girls are worried. Jin asks Ronka why she isn't fighting, but she wants to stay with him. They assume it's normal as teachers are not saying anything, and Yukari tells them that the winner will get free food and be allowed to do whatever they want. Jin says these are only rumors, but Miyubi says it's true, and Yukari adds that a student from another school is coming after them. Jin doesn't believe it, while Hitomi thinks it is related to the students found buried in the walls, and many others are being found near the school, like someone is targeting them. Hitomi is scared and Ronka says she'll protect them, but Jin says she can't defeat a bear, and she replies that she'll become strong like her big sister. Yukari asks about her sister and she says she's at home, while Hitomi asks where her home is, and she replies in the north where the temperature is below zero, and they don't freeze because of heat exchange in their bodies. Also, her sister used to give her her jacket to wear, and says that before coming here she fought with her, and Jin tells her to be happy as she has her pack. But Yukari says he is bad at cheering, and they start arguing while some wolves spy on them and report to their leader, a female, who wonders if her sister, Ranka, will remember her as she has missed her a lot. A wolf says she can meet her now, but seeing Jin being rude to her sister, she gets angry, breaks the door, and the wolves surround them. Then, seeing Ranka's huge sister, Feral, they get scared, and then the sisters greet each other in their own strange way, leaving the group confused. Yukari says she's bigger than Ranka. Then Jin says that wolves living in cold climates grow larger to maintain body heat, and when they talk about her height, she starts crying and calls Jin a monkey. Yukari wonders if she's here to fight, but she says she has no interest in war. She is only here to take Ranka back home because wolves don't live apart from their families and be her right hand. But Ranka refuses and reminds her that she has started a pact with Jin. This makes her angry, and Ranka says Jin is her husband, but he refuses, and she lifts him up, but Ranka tells her to release him, but she asks him to join her pact so that Ranka can join her too, and she holds him close despite everyone's protests. And she is about to lick him, but Ranka stops her, saying she'll never forgive her if she does. Feral gets furious because Ranka is defying a high-ranking wolf, but Ranka says she'll hate her forever if she doesn't leave, and she goes into shock, and her pack carries her away. Ranka feels bad about fighting with her again, and Jin goes into deep thought. Elsewhere, King sees the damaged building when Shiho arrives to break up with him to focus on club activities. King tries to stop her, but she leaves. Whereas Feral beats a bear boy, and her junior says Seaton isn't the same as before, and notes she's still sad just then. Iena, a hyena girl, arrives. Wolf says that the bears attacked them first, but she challenges Feral for her position as the strongest. Then Feral hears her sister's voice and leaves. Then Iena sees Ranka running around Jin and hides behind a tree. Then they are surrounded by lion boys who heard that he defeated Feral and want to fight him. Jin says it's false, but Ranka growls at the lion and he laughs at her. Just then Iens attacks the lion because she hates bullies and asks if Jin really defeated Feral. Jin remembers that hyenas are brave enough to fight lions. Then she easily defeats them, and her fangirls cheer for her. Then she says Jin doesn't look strong enough to defeat a wolf and asks him to fight like a male. But Jin points out that she is actually female, which scares her fans, and she decides to leave, but calling him weak. They go to the cooking room, where she smells Hitomi, and Jin tells her to return to her pack. But she says she is not a part of any pack and says she's a male. But Jin says she's female and asks her to leave, but she won't leave until he admits she's male and asks why he's playing house, and she bites a bone to show her strength and says only males can do it. But he says all hyenas can do it, but she says she can't control her anger and crushes an apple, but is shocked to see Yukari crush a pumpkin. Then she tries to break a tile to prove she's male and gives it to Miyubi, who faints from its weight, which makes her panic as she didn't mean to hurt her. But Jin calls her an animal murderer and old school, while Yukari says males and females are equal and tells her to stop pretending. Then she jumps on the table and says he left her no choice. The mole rat spies inform Miki that a hyena is causing trouble in the cooking room and ask if they should disband them. But Miki says they must protect all students and watch a video of Jin pulling Iena's pants, which makes Miki faint. In reality, Jin is trying to stop her from pulling her own pants. Then she recalls that others kept calling her female and starts crying. Later at home, her father asks what's wrong, and she wishes her face looked like his, but he tells her not to say that because her face resembles her late mother, who was a strong hyena. Back in the present, she says she's proud of her looks, but Jin says pulling her pants won't prove anything because female hyenas also have a fake penis, which causes confusion, and she should have known that. But she says she never seen a female hyena's body, and she bathes with males only. And she realizes the truth, and Hitomi says it was a misunderstanding. Then Jin is relived to clear it up, and they all clap, but she calls them liars and runs away. Jin says she had to know and can handle it. Then Ranka says he's kind and jumps on him. Meanwhile, Feral is happy that Ranka has made friends instead of crying alone, but she still hates Jin, and they spot her, but Ranka asks why she's still here and tells her to go home. Later, Iena tells her father about the confusion and accepts being female and wears a girl's uniform. Then her brother arrives to give her a haircut, which embarrasses her, and she calls herself male again. Some students read a poster that sports day is coming soon, and Ranka wants the cooking club to compete. But everyone refuses. She bites Jin's leg to make him rethink. But he leaves saying they can't win, but she wants to participate with her pack. Miyubi also wants to participate but has doubts, so she tells her that she's here for her. and they start training for the race. Miyubi thanks her and she is happy to help her and wants to show others they can win. When they step ahead, Miyubi falls again because it's too much pressure for her then. The mole rat's army appears and asks Miyubi to stand up as she fell on a rat, and she apologizes. Ranka asks what they are doing, and a rat says they are preparing for sports day and tells others to return to work. Suddenly, a heavy tool falls on the injured Molio. Ranka saves him and offers to help them train Miyubi, but Miyubi fails to push the line-making tool and the rats discuss doing it themselves, but since they owe Ranka, they'll work with her. Miyubi falls multiple times due to exhaustion, causing rats to do the heavy work themselves. Elsewhere, Hitomi takes Jin to show him how hard Ranka and Miyubi are training for sports day. While on the ground they cross the finish line and celebrate, then the rats tell them their work is done. Ranka apologizes for getting in their way, but the rats got motivated by seeing Miyubi train so hard and wish her luck. And Hitomi says they have to participate, but he says they'll lose. The next day, the students are excited for sports day, and so is Ranka, who is running in circles and is happy to meet Chloe, who calls Jin a fool, and he says she is friends with donkeys, but she says now she is a champion in the donkey cards game and will win. But Yukari points out that they don't have enough team members and they get disappointed. Then Ranka sees Miyubi running towards them, which shocks them. She says she woke up energetic, talks faster and starts warming up. Yukari says she's like a different animal. Suddenly Miyubi falls, and in a tent, a doctor tells them she has a cold and her elevated heart rate allowed her move faster temporarily, because the faster an animal moves, the faster its heart beats. While a normal animal's heart beats 1 to 2 billion times, a sloth's heart beats only 80 million times. They tell Miyubi to rest for the day, but she refuses, saying she will compete in the race, but Ranka says health matters more, and they'll try their best to win, which makes Miyubi emotional. Next, the students line up, and the headmaster's bowl breaks again, and Miki announces the beginning of the competition. The first event is 100-meter race, in which Ranka participates with full energy, but the racers slip on banana peels thrown by the skating monkey, Pan Saruhama. Jin says it's cheating, but Pan's friends mock him. The next event is the high jump, where Pan wins, and then he uses different tools to cheat and win more games. Jin says the monkeys are leading while they are in last place, while Kurumi finishes their lunch. Meanwhile, Ranka sits alone sadly. Jin asks what's wrong, and she says they are losing and starts crying. The monkeys laugh at them. Ranka says there's no hope they can win. Then he pats her head and says she promised Miyubi a win, calling her boss. Then she thanks him by jumping on him, and the girls laugh. The mole rat says the afternoon event will begin with a race around the academy, worth 300 points. Chloe and the donkeys distribute the maps as they can't participate, but Jin lets them join their team and sends them on the snowy mountain. They get tired midway, but Jin tells them on the walkie that Napoleon crossed mountains using donkeys, which motivates them to run faster and take the lead. The second part of the race is arm wrestling, where Yukari wins against the Gorilla Boys and gets praised by her team, but the monkeys are not happy and decide to stop them. The fourth part is a swimming race, where Hitomi will take part, but she waits for Jin to finish the third part, which is a desert race that he wins. Meanwhile, Hitomi gets ready in the changing room but is drugged by the monkeys. A burned Jin is brought to the medical tent, but he wakes up hearing that Hitomi is unconscious due to a sleeping drug, and Jin knows the monkeys did it as they know jungle herbs. Jin tells Yukari to take her place, but she refuses and Ranka has to run the last part. Then Miyubi volunteers and falls. Ranka says she is better, but Jin doubts whether she can swim and she wants to help. For the swimming race, the animals prepare as Jin arrives with Miyubi. The audience doubts if she can swim, so Jin tells her to focus on swimming. The monkeys are confident they will win. Jin worries about Miyubi, but Ranka believes in her as they train together. Just then Pan uses a boat to race and drown her, but she comes up and continues. The other animals, her teammates, Feral's wolf pack and mole rats, cheer for Miyubi, and the noise wakes up Hitomi and Yukari. Even Miki supports her and she moves ahead but drowns while responding, and Jin tells her to focus on swimming. She finishes the race without dying and everyone celebrates. Jin praises her. She said she won because Ranka believed in her. Then Jin tells Ranka to get ready for the final part and she runs through the jungle. Pan is in the lead but notices Ranka closing in, so she tries to attack her, but Ranka bites her weapon, and Pan apologizes and begs for mercy, and she warns her not to get in her way and she faints. Then Ranka continues the race and wins. Everyone cheers for her. Later she takes the winner's trophy. Chloe says it was boring, but the donkeys say the cooking club can share their room as thanks for helping them. Ranka happily places the trophy in the cupboard and they all laugh together. The students are gathered at the entrance waiting for a special transfer student. The preparations started a few days ago, when students picked slips for their jobs and Ranka got the job to build a hot spring. Meanwhile, Jin is alone in the forest, building the hot spring while the others are excited to meet the new student. They start cheering as the top animal idol, Panda Mei Mei, steps out of the car next. She is in the headmaster's office, where the headmaster and Terano welcome her to the school. She is grateful for the welcome, and her manager, Feng, says she is here for a trial period, and the headmaster offers her bamboo grass, which is not her favorite, so she turns to leave. But Feng orders her favorite food and she becomes happy. After eating her food, she sleeps on the couch, and the headmaster says she is spoiled because of the special treatment pandas receive. Next day, Miki welcomes her and will give her a school tour, but she tells her to entertain her first or she'll leave. Feng stops her and requests Miki to do something, and she plans with her army, and then they remove her clothes. But Mei Mei is gone. She decides to look around alone and is happy to see King and asks what he is doing here. He says he was thinking if he should cut his mane as he is no longer with Shiho, but she cuts his hair, takes it and wears it like a wig to hide her true identity, leaving him in shock. She dances in the hallway and smells something good. In the cooking club, Jin has prepared panda dumplings for Mei Mei using cornmeal. Ranka says it's cute and positive that Mei Mei will stay here. Suddenly, Mei Mei appears and eats all the dumplings, saying they're delicious, which makes Yukari angry, and the girls try to calm her down. While Mei Mei asks for more, but Jin asks who she is and she reveals she's the panda. Ranka asks why she's here and she replies that she followed the nice smell, and the girls are happy to meet her, and she says she can get anything she wants because everyone loves her, but Jin calls her a stupid panda. She tells him to make more, but he refuses, grabs her and throws her out of the room. She knocks on the door saying he can't do this when her manager comes running and asks what's wrong, and she is angry with Jin. The next day, she approaches him and asks if he is making dumplings, and he says no. Feng says no one can be rude to her and introduces herself, saying he can be executed for saying no, but he says he'll not make them. Ranka says they'll all cook together, which embarrasses her. Next, Mei Mei gifts Yukari a jar from China made from dried bat feces and gives Miyubi a scooter so she can travel faster. Then she tells Ranka that her fans will join her pack, which excites her, and asks Jin to make dumplings, and he knows she has bribed them. Meanwhile, Hitomi is also wearing an expensive apron. Mei Mei tells him to hurry. He agrees, saying she'll help him. Then she makes the dough with Hitomi's help, but asks why she's doing this, and throws the bowl down, but Jin asks her to pick it up and stops Feng, saying only she'll pick it, and then she does it, thinking he doesn't like her and he's abusing her, which is new for her, and she works faster because she's scared of him. And after a few minutes, the dumplings are ready and everyone claps for her. Even Jin compliments her, but she takes them away, saying they're hers, and eats them. Jin asks if they taste better than yesterday's, and she smiles. Then Ranka asks if she wants to join the club, but Feng declines, saying she can't be mistreated every day and hasn't decided to enroll yet. And Ranka says she's one of them, but Jin says they don't need selfish pandas here. The next day, the students are waiting for her, and the excitement for pandas is the same as when humans line up at zoos to see them. And Mei Mei enrolls in the school. Feng asks if she's sure, and she says yes, she'll join the club. It is revealed that Jin tells her she needs permission from all the members, including Kurumi, and she wonders if she'll like her, and when she enters, Kurumi gets scared and hides under the table. The girls try to make her comfortable, but fail, and Jin says cats are not friendly with strangers, and says either kick Panda out or make Kurumi feel comfortable, and then locks Mei Mei in a cage. Ranka says it's mean, but Jin notices that she likes it, and Kurumi comes out of hiding and they laugh together. When Hitomi tells her about Mei Mei, she becomes sad. The girls are working while Kurumi sits alone, and when Jin tells Mei Mei to go out, she insists on staying until Kurumi accepts her. Feng tells her to come out of the cage, but she refuses and chooses to stay. At night, she curses herself for staying in the cage alone, and suddenly, Kurumi returns. Mei Mei asks why she's here, and if she has made a decision, but she ignores her and Mei says she lived an easy life, but after meeting them, she wants to be their friend. Then Kurumi recalls how the cooking club accepted her, and she jumps out, leaving Mei Mei alone again. The next day, Mei Mei wakes up to find a blanket on her and asks a mole rat sleeping near her if Kurumi sent her, but he panics and runs away. When the club members arrive, she says she has Kurumi's approval because of a rat nearby. Everyone nervously says it is a good thing, and Jin opens the cage and she says she's telling the truth. Just then, Kurumi enters, says hello, then smells Mei Mei, who thanks her and says they are friends now, but Kurumi leaves. Mei Mei looks disappointed, and Jin tells her that she was just showing affection and welcomes her to the club. Ranka says that to join the pack, she must lick the pack leader's mouth, but she licks Jin instead, shocking everyone. She asks what's wrong, and Ranka says she's the leader, which embarrasses her and she shouts. Later, all the girls go to the hot spring, which Jin built alone. Ranka asks Mei Mei if she felt cold the previous night, and she says she had Kurumi's blanket, which actually belongs to Jin. Meanwhile, the newly shaven king becomes jealous after seeing Shiho with an Impala boy. Iena has come home for the weekend and she talks with her family about school. Her father says she still doesn't know how to be a female and she thinks about it. Next, back at school she beats up some boys and thinks she has to act like a female and wonders if someone can teach her. Just then, Hitomi offers her a handkerchief to clean her face and she starts panicking and scares her. Elsewhere, Farrell is keeping an eye on her sister's activities and says she can't let her know she's still here. Just then, a tiny badger girl Teru Animitsu appears and wants to join their pack after she saved her and wants to be strong like her. But Wolf says she can't join a wolf pack, but she points at a hiding Iena and asks her if she's in their pack. Iena refuses and she asks why she's hiding. She says, observing the human female to be more like her. The wolves are confused. Then Iena says she will act more like a female and Teru introduces herself as the newest pack member. But Farrell says she's not, and Wolf says the only female who can join the pack is Ranka, so she says she'll defeat Ranka and take her place and runs away, while they try to stop her. Next, Iena disguises herself as a dustbin to follow Hitomi around. In the cafeteria, while Hitomi enjoys her food, she sits with her, acts like her and asks if she seems like a female. But Hitomi says she looks like Iena, and she says she copied her. But why is she not like her? And reveals she wants to be an ideal female like her. And Hitomi tells her to talk to others, but she refuses. Hitomi invites her to the cooking club saying they will help her. Jin asks why she's following Hitomi and she replies to be an ideal female. Meanwhile, Yukari tells Mei Mei the whole story which makes her panic and she wants to see her penis. Jin asks her if she wants to be like Hitomi and she says yes, but Jin refuses so she says she can be. Then Jin says Hitomi doesn't use vulgar language, doesn't sit like her and can't copy her, and she asks if he stalks Hitomi and he says no. Yukari suggests that Hitomi try to act like Iena, and they mess up Hitomi's looks while Miyubi sleeps. Then Hitomi acts like her and she asks if she looks sexy and Jin refuses. Just then, Teru arrives and asks Ranka to fight her, but she refuses and hides behind Jin, but Iena throws her out of the room. Then Wolf tells Teru not to fight, but she gets distracted by a bird and runs away with Wolf chasing her. Meanwhile, Jin tells Iena to stop copying Hitomi and she says she won't. Then Hitomi fixes her uniform, bathes her and shows her a magazine, teaches her how to act like a girl. Later at her home, Iena's father says she looks different, and she says her friend is teaching her how to be a female, and her father and brother say it's awesome. The next day, the club members watch her eat lunch and clap as she behaves like an ideal female. Hitomi grabs her hands and says she's a good student, and she then asks the girls to pick flowers and they agree. Jin thinks she's really changed, but then she remembers she cannot digest bones and suddenly vomits. Then Jin asks what kind of girl does that, but she says it's natural and starts crying, saying she can never be a perfect female. Then Mei Mei tells her that pandas are actually carnivores who like eating bamboo and there's nothing wrong with living the way you like, which surprises her. Suddenly, Teru returns to fight Ranka, but lion boys start bullying them and ask Iena if she's now a weak female and threaten to kill Teru if she moves. She tells them to behave, but the lion says it's survival of the fittest. Then Jin tells her to be the male and the lions start beating Teru and the girls worry, but Jin thinks the lions can't hurt Teru because of her thick skin. When the lions get tired, Iena says she was about to give up fighting, and when they try to hit her, she defeats them saying she's a male and the lions fall on Wolf. Then Teru asks Ranka to fight her, but she says there's no reason to fight. But Teru says she has a reason and start arguing. Then Iena tells her to fight her instead, and if she beats her she can fight Ranka, and Teru agrees saying she will do anything to be a wolf and uses her stink gas, the honey badger's special move, but ends up defeating Jin and Ranka, and she starts dancing. Iena says that's not fair. Then Farrell arrives, lifts her, beats her for hurting her sister, and then hugs Ranka, and Teru is happy to feel pain for the first time. Iena calls her a weirdo and Farrell decides to kill her, but Ranka wakes up and Teru calls her boss's sister and asks if she's in her pack, but Farrell says she's not. However, Ranka is happy that her sister let another animal join her pack, and so Farrell lets her join her pack. Then Jin says stupid wolf and passes out. Then Iena leaves with a big smile and tells her family she's back to being a male and leaves, making her father and brother sad because they bought dresses for her, but they want to see her happy, and if she wants to be a male, she can, and decides to keep the dresses. Next day in the cafeteria, she sits beside Hitomi and says this uniform feels right for her and thanks her for helping her and calls her a perfect female, and offers her a bone, and Jin asks if she won't thank them. Then she says she didn't notice them, and Jin tells her to stop, but she asks if he wants to fight her over Hitomi. Elsewhere, Farrell tells Teru she looks good in the uniform and runs away. Meanwhile, a male Impala tells Shiho he'll protect her, but runs away when Warthog boys approach, and King beats them and tells Shiho he still cares about her and will always protect her. Then she hugs him and confesses that she loves him but was worried about what others would say. Then King says he'll do anything to spend his life with her and tries to kiss her, but she kicks him, saying she's not ready yet. Next, a bus takes Jin's class on a trip, where he can't read properly due to the others arguing about eating chocolate sticks. Jin tells them to be quiet, but Ranka says she can't stay quiet, and he sighs. Then she sees the Seton Sea Academy's building. The headmaster, Oba, welcomes them to the Sea Academy and is tossed away by a whale. The girls say the building is nice and want to wear the swimsuit uniforms and study underwater. Then they enter their dorm boat, but Jin says it's still another boring day with animals, and secretly wants to spend time with Hitomi. Then a girl welcomes them and Jin says that she looks like a dolphin but is actually a beluga whale. The girl introduces herself as Shirami Kana and goes underwater to perform a welcome show, but she fails and the students boo her and she goes away. They wonder what that was and Hitomi says it is not mentioned in the guide, and Ranka worries if Kana is okay, and Jin worries Ranka will suggest cheering her up, so he makes a plan to send her after Kana and spend time with Hitomi, and he tells her that Kana needs her support and Mei goes with her. In a swimming pool, Kana asks how they'll help her. Then Mei says she will teach her show business, and tells Feng to bring a tire and explains how to use it to make people fall in love. But Kana wants to join the school's idols, a group of dolphin girls, and perform amazing tricks, and before she can say anything else, a dolphin girl appears beside her on the water. Her name is Bando Ruka, the dolphin leader, and she is not happy with Kana. Elsewhere, Jin takes Hitomi around using the guidebook but can't decide where to go, and Hitomi wonders what Ranka is doing. He says she'll be fine, but she and the other girls worry about her and go looking for her, leaving Jin no choice but follow. Back near the pool, Ranka asks why she can't join, and Ruka says she is slower than dolphins and will not be given another chance after her unauthorized stunt. But Kana can't stop smiling as belugas appear to smile. When Ruka leaves, Ranka calls her rude and Mei says Kana can perform with her. But Kana wants to join the swimming club since the first day she saw their show and wishes to share a stage with the school idols. Just then, the others arrive. Jin says she can't make everyone happy, then says she needs to show her special talent, singing. He explains that beluga whales make many different sounds, which she can use for her solo performance. Ranka suggests they perform with her on the last day, and the girls agree to help her out, and she says she'll try, but Jin doesn't like the idea. But when the girls put on their swimsuits, he pats Ranka's head. As they enter the pool, Jin realizes he won't get time alone with Hitomi. Then Ranka tells them to swim around Kana while she sings, but she turns out to be a terrible singer. The dolphins watch from above and say they're bad swimmers. At night, Jin can't sleep because of the noisy animals, and he's sharing a room with a male giraffe couple who just broke up. He stands in the hallway to avoid the drama and is approached by Ruka, who begs him to stop helping Kana. Soon the other dolphin girls arrive and he realizes she is sleeping with half her brain, which changes her personality, something normal in dolphins and whales. She says Kana belongs to a different species and can't sing and dance in sync with them, and begs him to stop helping her. Then her other half wakes up and she strictly tells him to stop interfering and leaves. Next, while taking a bath, a giraffe boy approaches him. He looks confused, then a giraffe girl says that her brother is interested in him and he confesses his feelings, which scares Jin away. Next, he notices Ranka and Kana training. Kana worries that she can't join the swim club because of her species. Then Ranka tells her to have faith in Jin, saying he got the cooking club girls to work together and that he's her partner. But Jin tells her to stop spreading lies and tells Kana to stop. Ranka asks what he's saying, and he explains that she's trying to sing with her mouth, but belugas sing using a special nasal cavity on top of their head, which confuses her more. Then Ranka tells her to try once and Jin leaves saying he has a headache. Then the camp begins, and they enjoyed the camp. And then on the last day, the headmaster announces showtime. Kana is nervous seeing the crowd, but the girls reassure her, and Yukari says students might join them, which excites Ranka. Next, the announcement is made for the cooking club and Kana's performance, and Ranka says anyone can join them. The dolphin girls say Kana is missing and Ruka assumes she ran away, Suddenly, she appears and starts singing using the nasal cavity on her head, impressing the audience. But the dolphins say it's not good enough, and Ruka says she'll show what a real performance is. However, her right brain wants to join Kana, though she says they can't perform together. Kana's voice makes her feel good and she tells her to keep singing. And as she sings, their movements begin to sync, and the other dolphins join in, drawn by the song, and the audience enjoys the show. Over time, the dolphins feel more connected to Kana's voice and the show becomes a success. Then Ruka invites her to join the swimming club and she agrees. After the show, she thanks the cooking club members for helping her and they invite her to visit their school and says goodbye. Later, Hitomi and Jin sit on the beach and he is about to confess his feelings, but the giraffe boy interrupts, making him run away. Back at school, Mei asks if Jin always carries Miyubi around, and he says it's because she's slow. Then Mei also jumps on him, he drops them and leaves. Mei notices a girl staring at her and asks if she's her fan, but the girl bangs her head against the wall and faints. Then she tells her friends what happened. Jin explains that the girl is a tarsier who tries to die when stressed. Mei says she didn't cause her stress, but he says her presence is stressful. In the game room, she sits on the sidelines, thinking Jin was mean, and notices Miyubi, who asks why she's sitting here. She says she doesn't want to get hurt. Then Miyubi says she wants to run with everyone, so she tells her to try, but Miyubi passes out. Then she notices the tarsier girl again, remembers Jin's words and approaches her, but the girl runs away and Mei follows. When she tries to talk to her, the girl's face turns red. She jumps into the air and collapses again. Then Miyubi says the girl is really stressed, but Mei says she doesn't intend to. But Miyubi says she can relate to passing out but doesn't know how to help. So Mei decides to help both of them and prove that Jin is wrong next. She slowly approaches her but she panics again. Then Mei asks Miyubi to help by handing her a photo album, but she bangs her head. They try talking using cups, but she turns red, panics and bangs her head again. Eventually she introduces Manako to the cooking club, covering her face to help her feel safe. When Ronka approaches, she panics again. Mei explains that she doesn't like talking to strangers, and Jin asks why she brought her here. She wants to introduce her new friend, who is very brave and hopes they accept her. Hitomi says she's happy to meet her. Yukari welcomes her to the club and Ranka tries to lick her but Jin stops her. Then Manako thanks them and is so happy to meet them that she's not afraid to pass out. When she tries to bang her head, Miyubi stops her and touches her face, which she thinks is a slap, but Miyubi tells her not to let her instincts take over, and she agrees. Then Mei hugs both of them. She turns red again and passes out. Elsewhere, King apologizes to Shiho, but she says it's fine. King says it's going to rain and Shiho says she's ready to take things to the next level, and he says he'll be careful and takes her toward the forest. But she wants him to meet her parents first. Soon heavy rain begins across the country and is expected to last a few days. The mole rats discuss if they should go above ground, but Miki wants to resign from her position suddenly. The power goes out. Water floods the room and they swim out with her on top. When the light comes back on, the students relax, then the students are told they must share rooms with underground species. Jin protests but has no choice. The girls try to cheer him up saying it'll be fun, but he believes it'll be a disaster. Just then, a mole girl named Hana arrives and she'll stay with Hitomi, who is curious about the human mating season, and Jin says he won't let any animal stay in his room, making the girls wonder who his roommate will be. It turns out to be Miki, who turns his room into her office. Jin calls her a pervert, making the rat army angry. She says she doesn't like him either, but the situation forces them to live together, and Jin tells the rats to leave. Then she asks if he wants to replace her as student council president. He refuses, but she says she has been observing him, how he cooperates with multiple species and creates a friendlier school environment. She believes he will be a good president who thinks about the welfare of all the students, and he imagines using his authority to ban all animals, spending time alone with Hitomi, giving Ronka a bone and sending her away. But Miki asks what happened to his morals, and he can't ban the students. Then he tells her to wear clothes around him, or he'll file a complaint. She agrees to wear the clothes, making the rat army embarrassed and asks if it's okay now, but he says no. She tells him to forget about the president's position. Outside the room, animals gather to speak with Miki about their problems. The rats say everyone needs her. Jin tells them to return to the wild, but Miki says she'll listen to their issues one by one, and Jin gets angry that she has taken over his room, but she listens carefully and regains her confidence. After everyone leaves, she apologizes to Jin for taking over his space, but says she still feels interspecies relationships are wrong. Then Jin points out that she works with many species, meaning she also forms interspecies friendships. Realizing he's right, she gets so happy that she removes her clothes, but he tells her to cover up. Just then the girls arrive and misunderstand the situation. Then Miki explains everything to the girls, who all strip to their underwear to make Miki feel comfortable. The male rats start recording everything. Mei feels a bit uncomfortable. When the rain stops, a new girl arrives at school and senses a human presence. Meanwhile, King meets Shiho's parents. He says he has abandoned Lionhood, which terrifies them. She tells him to calm down. Her father asks if she really likes him. She says yes, and explains how he shaved his mane for her. So they decide to trust King, but only if he competes in an Impala tournament. Next, the headmaster welcomes the new girl to the school and tells her about the festival. Just then, an animal breaks in and destroys his bowl. Then she asks about the human students. On her way to the cooking club, she sees Jin and Ranka running from a group of dogs. Anne reaches the club. The girls welcome her, but her focus is on Hitomi, and she introduces herself as a human named Anne. Hitomi is glad to see another human girl and says it is nice to meet her. She looks around and asks if there are other members. Hitomi says there are 2 more, but Ranka just gone into heat. Yukari explains that Ranka is not here because of her reproductive cycle, and she is releasing pheromones all around the school, which makes all the canine males crazy with lust, so Jin is saving her from them. She then says that she saw them running, and she defeated all the chasing males. Outside, Jin realizes they are not being followed and hides inside an equipment room, where the giraffe boy who likes Jin wants to make love with him, but he runs away in time. He takes her to his room to keep her safe, but soon realizes that she is also crazy with lust, so she jumps on him. In the cooking room, the girls wonder where Jin and Ranka are, while Mei wonders what being in heat feels like because pandas do not have strong reproductive behavior. Back in Jin's room, Ranka licks Jin, but he rejects her, calling her a dumb dog. She asks if he hates her, and he says he hates all animals, making her cry. Feeling guilty, he leaves the room. Next, the girls prepare a feast for Anne, and she finishes the food in seconds. The girls are happy that she likes the dishes. Just then, Jin enters and Hitomi tells him about Anne. Jin is happy to see another human here. When Hitomi asks about Ranka, the girls ask if something happened between him and Ranka. He says nothing happened, but they find it suspicious. Then Hitomi says that since Ranka is not here and Miyubi has passed out, they should clean up. Jin works silently, feeling guilty about making Ranka cry, but suddenly gets angry, but calm down when he notices Anne looking at him. Afterward, she follows him and says she is interested in him, but he rejects her, saying he has feelings for Hitomi, and leaves, which makes her angry. Outside the school, Hitomi asks her to spend more time with her, and she agrees. Next, they go to the school's hot spring, where it is revealed that she has a hidden motive for being there. When Hitomi moves closer and asks many questions, she feels awkward, says she likes meat and faints from hunger, so Hitomi feeds her meat in her room. Then Hitomi tells her to spend the night there, and she agrees. At night, she asks Hitomi why she's so nice to a stranger. She replies that she has many friends from different species and would like her to be her friend. She falls asleep, while Anne thinks humans are difficult to understand and touches her chest. Meanwhile, a depressed Ranka finishes her cycle and says she can't sleep with Jin on her mind. Suddenly, she sees a dog and hides, but he walks away. She realizes she feels relieved and hungry. She smells something delicious and finds Anne heating some meat and joins her. In her room, Hitomi looks worried. In the forest, Ranka tells Anne that she is having problems with her human boyfriend and wonders who Anne is. Anne advises her to dump him, saying humans are liars, cruel, and have caused many species to go extinct, just for their own benefit. But Ranka says Jin is different and would never betray her as their packmates, so she decides to confront him as her leader. Anne hopes they argue, breaking the group. Next morning, Ranka asks Jin why he hates her, with the cooking club girls listening. She asks if he's also a liar, and he admits that humans are cruel liars, shocking everyone. Anne spies on them from outside. Then Jin tells her not to take everything so seriously, meaning he was lying about hating her. Then she gets happy, jumps on him and starts licking him. But Anne gets angry. Then the girls notice Anne. Ranka licks her to thank her for the advice, and they all accept her as their friend. But she leaves on her bicycle, saying she has something important to do, and they say goodbye. Jin still thinks that she's in love with him. Anne returns to her school, Darwin Academy, and meets her group, the Extinct Species Alliance, or Team X, made up of several extinct species who want the destruction of the human race. Their boss, a dark figure, asks if their plan can work, and she assures them that it can work. Meanwhile, King competes in the Impala tournament but no one wants to fight a lion. So Shiho's father challenges him to see if he's a worthy son-in-law and King easily defeats him. King asks if he can marry Shiho. Her father asks how a lion can make his daughter happy. He replies he doesn't know but he can spend his whole life with her and protect her even after he dies. Finally, her parents accept him. He and Shiho are happy. However, when they learn about his mating plan, they knock him out. Anne returns for Seton's Culture Festival, where all the stalls are crowded except the donkey's tent, which Kuro thinks it's because of her strength. Elsewhere, King is unable to win a prize for Shiho. Miki is happy because of the festival, but tells some girls to stop posing in swimsuits. Next, the cooking club is preparing food for the students while Kurumi rests. Jin wants to show that he's a great cook so that he can spend some time with Hitomi alone, but his laugh scares others. Yukari brings a drum from the store. Just then Anne enters and greets the girls who are happy to see her, and asks her to help them with their restaurant. She agrees to help them. Jin welcomes her to the club but she wants to kill him. Then Iana arrives to help as well and asks about Anne. Hitomi says she's their friend who is also here to help them. They change their clothes. Jin says they're ready and open the restaurant. In moments, students line up outside waiting for a table to eat their favorite dishes. Yukari says it's busier than expected. Looking at the drum, while Mei eats dumplings, saying she's tired but Jin tells her to return to work. Lions shout at Iana for bringing the food late and she throws them out. Hitomi tells her to calm down and she apologizes for her behavior. Soon all the dishes are sold out. Hitomi and Ranka thank Anne for helping. Ranka asks Iana to join her pack, but she refuses. Jin tells everyone to clean up, thinking about spending time with Hitomi. As Hitomi needs to get more supplies, both Anne and Iana start arguing over who'll go with her. Iana says she and Hitomi are old friends, while Anne says she shared a bed with her. Then Ranka tells them to stop fighting, asks them to apologize and shake hands. Hitomi tells Iana to bring supplies from the cafeteria, but Iana doesn't like Anne being close to Hitomi. Meanwhile, Yang, Barberi, Washima and Andrew from Team X arrive at the festival. Two girls welcome them with pamphlets and balloons. Then they start arguing among themselves. Yang calls Atlas a hairy caterpillar. Andrew says he'll eat them alive. She tells him to go home, and when Washima reminds they're a team, Babari calls him fat, but he says that he's not fat. Elsewhere, Hitomi tells Anne to get along with Iana and gives her a hair clip, but she gets sad and says ever since meeting them, she feels something inside, but doesn't understand it. Hitomi says it's the happiness that comes from spending time with friends and hugs her. She puts on the clip in Anne's hair and says they're the same, but she thinks they're not the same because she's not their friend and knocks her out and carries her in a car, but Iana stops her. Back in the class, Jin worries that the girls haven't returned. Elsewhere, Andrew picks Teruya and asks if she's a human, but she calls feral and says he's threatening her, so she punches him away. Next, Yukari prepares a special dish made using rabbit poop. Yang arrives and says it looks delicious. Then Yukari serves it to her, Mei and Miyubi. Yang thinks her plan is working and Mei thinks she can't eat it, but Yang enjoys it. It is revealed that she has lost her sense of smell since dolphins no longer need it. Ranka tries to find the girls by their scent but fails. Jin checks the gardening club and wonders if they are fighting over him because Anne likes him. He suddenly runs into Babari, who lifts him and says he's here to avenge his species which went extinct because of humans. He is about to kill Jin when King saves him. Babari asks why he helped him. King replies that Jin is their savior and he'll protect him, but he calls King a traitor and attacks him, knocking him down. Shiho asks if he's okay. Babari mocks him for dating an impala, calling him a disgrace. But Shiho says King is not a jerk like him. He slaps her, making King so angry that his mane grows back and he attacks him. Babari barely blocks him and asks why he's hiding his true strength. He says for love, but Babari says love is meaningless because he lost everyone, but Jin says that Barbary lions are not extinct and their population is increasing, which makes him happy, giving King a chance to hit him. Soon they find out that Hitomi has been kidnapped by Anne. Next, Yang finishes her food and says she's feeling the joy of eating and living again. Yukari says she's happy that she likes it and explains that the dish was made from the rabbit's finest poop produced to help the cooking club. Yang passes out. Next, Washima enjoys the festival games and prizes while Jin, King and Shiho search for Hitomi. Elsewhere, Anne defeats Iana and walks away, but Iana refuses to give up. Anne says she can't win against her. Iana asks if she's going to kill Hitomi, whom she pretended to befriend. Then she says she can't understand her pain, and that she considers humans her enemies. She attacks her, but Iana bites her spear and destroys it. Then Ranka arrives and asks why they're fighting again. Iana tells her that Anne hurt Hitomi and wants revenge on humans. But Ranka doesn't believe her, but she says it's true. Ranka says she can smell Anne's sadness and knows she doesn't truly want this. Iana says it's not right, but Ranka says a leader knows about their packmates and tells her to throw her weapon. Anne gets sad. Suddenly, they hear a voice. The ground shakes and a dark figure appears, whom Anne calls Boss. The girls wonder how an animal can speak into their minds, but elephants can communicate with each other using sound waves, and the strongest species among them was the now extinct woolly mammoth. But the huge black figure turns out to be an illusion created by a tiny mammoth, the boss of Team X, Kuramoto Man, who gets offended at being called tiny. Then she orders Anne to knock them out. Ranka tells her to stop, but Kuramoto says she's her boss, and Anne says she's her only boss. As Jin, King and Shiho arrive, Ranka says Hitomi has been captured by Anne, who is actually a Neanderthal, a species that went extinct after losing to humans. Ranka then says that she is in charge, which again makes Kuramoto angry at being called tiny, and she declares she'll kill them. King tries to stop her, but she lifts him up and easily defeats him and Iana. She charges at Jin, but Ranka tells her to fight her first. Jin tells her to run, but she says she wouldn't be a boss if she couldn't protect them. He thinks of a way to defeat her and suggests fighting in a boxing ring, saying that if she loses, she must free Hitomi. She refuses the offer, so he spills Shiho's bag of marbles to stop her because elephants avoid stepping on small objects. Then she begins collecting the marbles, but he says he has more marbles and laughs. Then Anne tells her to accept his proposal, and she agrees to fight Ranka in the boxing ring. Next, the animals gather to watch the match with Kuro as the referee, while Mickey worries about the cooking club. Then Jin says the mammoth seems slow and asks if Ranka is ready. She replies that she will protect her packmates, and he tells her to move fast. In the enemy tent, Kuramoto refuses to change her mind. Anne remembers how she was always alone all her school until Kuramoto noticed her and asked why her species went extinct. Anne says it was because of humans, and she tells her about her plan to fight humans, saying they could be friends after that they form Team X. In present, Kuramoto says that it's time to fight. The fighters come out of their tents and Feral asks Jin if she can take Ranka's place, but Ranka refuses, saying she is determined to fight. Jin says she made this decision herself and asks her to just watch, then starts cheering for her. In the boxing ring, both fighters are ready and Kuro explains the rules. Ranka says she won't let her have Jin, but she says Ranka can't defeat her. When round 1 begins, Ranka starts running fast around the ring and manages to dodge her punches, but panics when she gets cornered. Then Jin tells her to keep moving, but she bounces off the rope and loses the round. Ranka is still shaking, but Jin tells her that Kuramoto is strong. She's getting tired as she lacks stamina. Then the girls wear short clothes to announce the beginning of the second round. Ranka tells Hitomi that she will free her, and Hitomi believes she can win. As the second round begins, Anne asks Hitomi if she's scared. She replies that she is scared and doesn't want anyone to fight. Anne says she is not human, but she already known the truth for a long time and still considers her friend. Meanwhile, Kuramoto asks if Ranka plans to hit her, but Ranka keeps on running, so she says no one would follow a leader who runs instead of fighting, and Ranka stops, but she calls Ranka a failed leader, which makes Ranka angry and she charges at her only to be hit by a powerful punch and fall down. Kuro begins the countdown, but Ranka manages to stand up, shocking everyone. After the bell rings, Kuro asks them to rest. Anne tries to stop Kuramoto as humans are not as evil as they think, but she refuses to believe it because humans lie. While Ranka rests, Jin tells her to stop, but she is not ready to quit and promises she'll win. Then he lifts her up and pats her, saying alright, just one more round, praising her and restoring her confidence and energy. Next comes the third and final round. Kuramoto charges but fails to hit Ranka, then she pretends to be tired and then knocks her out of the ring. Everyone worries, but Miyubi cheers for her, followed by the rest of the animals. Ranka wakes up before the countdown ends and stands up again with renewed strength. She dodges Kuramoto's attacks. Anne tries to stop her again, but she won't stop until she has taken revenge on all the humans. Then Anne asks her to trust her, but she says she is her boss who gives her orders, so Anne says that she's no longer her friend, which depresses her. Suddenly Ranka attacks her. She realizes she failed as a leader before being knocked out. Everyone celebrates Ranka's win, then Hitomi asks if Kuramoto is okay. She says they're enemies, but Hitomi says the fight is over. She realizes that humans can be kind, then Anne says they were wrong to treat humans badly. However, Ranka says Anne betrayed them and is no longer her friend, and Jin tells her to find a pack that'll accept her. Then Anne asks Kuramoto if she can rejoin her pack, but she says there's no reason for Team X to exist anymore. Jin says they can still be friends. Then she asks Anne if they can be friends again. Anne says yes and they reconcile. Suddenly, Washima tries to attack, but slips on the marbles and knocks himself out. Jin tells Ranka she acted like a true leader today and doesn't stop her from licking him. Afterward, Team X is ready to cook with the cooking club. Seeing her team getting along with everyone, Anne looks happy. They begin peeling vegetables, making dough and preparing food together. Then they eat, enjoy the meal and rest for a while. Next, Anne apologizes to Hitomi for hurting her. She replies that she was also afraid of getting along with animals. But after meeting Jin and Ranka, she realized that friendship has no boundaries and they decide to be friends. Just then, Iena arrives and says they're also friends. Then they say their goodbyes and Team X leaves after learning the meaning of true friendship. Later, Ranka notes that Jin was friendly. He says he was just doing the right thing and tells her not to go extinct, which makes her imagine her marrying him and she licks him. Suddenly, an injured king approaches them and says that Seton is under attack by Faber Academy. That's all for today. If you want the next part, comment next part. We'll make it once this video hits 10,000 likes. Also, tell us which character you like the most in the comments. And thanks for watching, you guys are the best.